Hi, this is Grown Folks Talk. This is a safe place to seek peace on Grown Folks Talk. Um, how's everybody doing today?
We're great.
Um, I always say this show is not about me; it's about y'all. It's about the audience, and this, in my opinion, this show is therapy. Is because I feel like everybody on Earth needs some type of therapy. Nobody's perfect. We all got problems. So we all need therapy in a way. So if there's anything you would like to speak of, any thoughts you have in your head, anything you need to get off your chest, this is that you feel as though you can't go and say to anybody else, this is the time and the place to do it. So if anybody have anything to say, the floor is open for you to speak.
Well, do you have a topic for today?
I all 9 times out of 10 when I do this show, I always have a topic in the back of my head, but the thought is for my audience to talk about what they want to talk about. So if no one else has a topic, then I speak on my topic.
She said a blind woman. I want to talk to.
I'm sorry. Adrian, you have something?
What you say?
Was you just speaking?
No, I thought your mom just said something. I was,
Okay.
but somebody would say, "Hey, Aaron," so I'll be quiet and let them speak.
Yeah, I heard somebody else speak. That's I thought it was.
It's Evadene. Good afternoon, everyone. How are we?
Hi, Bodney.
Good afternoon.
Hey, I like your topic, Aaron. That is going to come up. But one of the things I was thinking about this week, with so many people passing, I've had two people pass this week, friends, and then one friend and then my friend's brother. And what I love about what he did, he called all of his siblings and said goodbye. About a month ago, she went to see him because he was close to the end of his life then. And we're always close, as a matter of fact. Like every day, we never know when we're not going to wake up. But she went up to see him, and so she reached out and told us that he called because he was calling his siblings. He put in the DNR, and he was just tired. And so he transitioned yesterday. And so she said the wait is over. He transitioned. I said, boy, he's got to be the sharpest dude arriving today, because he owned a men's dress shop, a men's clothing shop, and he was, I tell you, this guy was fit and made sure everyone who walked out his door was fit. So I said, now he's using that silver lining measuring tape and sizing up everybody. They're going to be fine dressed men in that town. And she appreciated that. She loved that. But I love the fact that he gave an opportunity for family to know of his decision, and because of his health condition, that he was okay and he was ready. And that's pleasant to the mind and to the heart. We're always going to miss people. And another friend of mine, I learned she was in the hospital, and of course the universe has a way of putting things together. I learned after she transitioned that she had been in the hospital since February. So she was in there for her birthday in March. And we were getting close to tax deadlines. So she called me. She said, girl, I better get my taxes done before those people come and get me. So I picked up all of her documents from her house. And I am so grateful that in spite of her being now in rehab, because they put her in a nursing home rehab, which actually contributed to her transition, another case altogether, that she still was, on top of her business. But the blessing in that is that the documents that she gave me to use answered and direct her son to who she has, where she has them, what her name is on, what are the things that he now need to close out and who he needs to notify, because she had documents in there from companies that we had not used before on her taxes, but she took money out in 2023, so that's why I had them. Because he asked me, he says, well, I don't know if she has insurance, because, people be like, we're going to get to it, we're going to talk about it, and then you're not here to talk anymore. So he was asking me what I knew, and then it dawned on me, hey, these are all new people. Only 2 of them were regulars, but the other 4 documents were new financial relationships that she did business with, just pulling out money that had been there. So that's probably where life insurance is, where death certificates need to go. And I told him, and this is just FYI, when someone passes, you want the funeral home to order your death certificates because you get them quicker. Might be a little cheaper, but you definitely get them quicker. And you want to order like 10 to 12 to 15 because you never know all the things you have to unwind, and they all want original death certificates. So I shared that with him, but he was pretty hurt, of course, and saddened. But again, this was a process where he saw her leaving. He had a chance to prepare versus, Ma, you didn't answer your phone. I'm coming in and finding her on the floor. That's traumatic to me, more traumatic to me.
Yes.
When you just walked in on somebody. But death is one of those conversations that I speak about, like my ice cream I like and my avocado food, because it's a part of life, and how well we're prepared makes all the difference in the continued life and lifestyle of our friends and family, not just our close family who have to handle business, but our friends and family get a chance to say goodbye, get a chance to understand, and hopefully it will then, allow them to do the same thing, have a chance to say goodbye, because it could happen anytime. So I just share that information, and, it's a part of life. It's the end of life as we know it, as we see it, I should say, but it's an ongoing thing. And I think I had mentioned before where I said my idea, and I'm going to stop after this, Karen. My idea was, what if you attended your own service, but not knowing that it's you, and you get to judge that person's life by the things that others are saying? What if? And when my nephew passed last year, September, he was actually at his own funeral. My young cousin saw him when he came through the door. And I was like, wow, see how you get your answers, Miss Eva Dene? So, thank you. Thank you for the time, Aaron. Thank you, Ernestine.
Well, Vadne, I would totally agree with what you said. And I was always one to push to make sure you have insurance, make sure things are taken care of before you go. Because when you're going to take care of it? After you go? And so I've always been the one in my family to ask, where are your insurance things? Where are your paperwork? Do you have your insurance set up? I don't ask who is it going to, who's going to be, whose name is it in, but is the paperwork done? Is it up to date? Because that is important. I've been in too many situations with family where they passed and they didn't have their paperwork in order. They have houses and the paperwork is not in order. Especially one was my mother's great aunt, and her house was in her husband's name, who had passed away about 8 years earlier. And it was a big thing. You know, they had to go to court. They had to go to probate court and all of that because, and she had kids, but I'm surprised. I thought when you have children and the first person that stuff go to is gone, that it automatically went to the children and or grandchildren. But there was a big fight because she had 4 children and she had a lot of grandchildren, and they were fighting each other. And so because I experienced that, I tell people, be specific. You know, I'm going to leave it to A, and if A is not available, deceased, or nobody knows where he or she is, you know, it'll go to A, you know, it'll go to B if you have other kids. Or if that's the only child, it'll go to the children. You know, it's not an automatic always because somebody always has a right to fight it. So that's one thing that makes
That's why that trust is important. You put everything in the trust and you leave someone to manage the trust, and then that one could leave someone, and then everything that comes out of it gets divided according to your wishes, but it still remains in the trust. So let's say if you have a rental property, aside from the expenses, once that's taken care of, then everyone who's entitled receives a payout. That's how we hear wealthy people are you know, trust fund babies. And okay, that's what that is. The wealth is in a bubble, and everybody's living off of all the bubbles in the bubble. That's how they're paid out from the trust. Sometimes they're paid out annually, you know, one lump sum payment annually, or sometimes it's monthly or quarterly, but that trust is important. Thanks.
So what is the best place that you think you should go to open up a trust fund for your children and you?
My first answer would be if you have a banking thing that you're familiar with, that you've been using.
If you have a bank, you said?
That can help you with it. I mean, independent. But again, I would find somebody I can trust, you know, because there's a lot of rip-off artists, for lack of a better word, you know.
Mm-hmm. So I need to know a good place to start a trust fund for mine, even though they're grown, I want to have one for my children.
I would say go online and download. Go online and Google. Sugar. Excuse me.
God bless you.
It's spring.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Let me get a towel.
That was a funny sneeze. I've never heard anybody sneeze like.
I'm sorry. You could probably download the forms so you could see everything that needs to go in it, because even if you go to a professional, but you can go to an attorney, you want to know you understand everything, so you give yourself that guide for homework. Download documents, and there's different trusts. There's a living trust. There's a revocable and irrevocable trust. There's different types of trusts. So find out which one. Well, get an idea, and you do this with family. You do this so that not only are you doing it, but now you all are learning together. Because if you incorporate your life in a trust, that's for your children and possibly your grandchildren. You want your children to do the same thing, to have their own trust. Unless you all are so lovely that you're going to put everything in a family, you know. But otherwise, you want everybody to take those steps together so you're learning together. Because that's what the people with the side curls do. They sit down with their children as young as they can understand, and they incorporate them in the decisions and the conversation and teaching how, which is not a bad thing. which is not a bad thing. And because, of course, we're in the recording business, whenever you come together, whether it's virtual or in person, record your conversation on Zoom. Record it so you can look back on it and see what questions were answered, not answered, still up in the air. You know, we have to take advantage of recording and saving the recording. So that's just my suggestion.
Vadney, correct me if I'm wrong. You don't need a lawyer to make a trust.
You may not, but you may need to file it with either surrogate court or family court.
Courthouse.
You know, yeah. But sometimes you'll have nonprofit, even churches. Maybe you could do this, Ernestine, if your church might have someone within the church family or in your area, and they can come into a workshop. That's a great idea. Thank you for thinking of it. Come in and do a workshop at the church. Either come in or offer it virtually. Even if everybody pays $5 registration, it's so worth it.
My church had a workshop.
Let me ask, so that would be included in finance classes, right?
It wouldn't be included unless you included it, but yes. If you're looking at financial literacy and estate planning, then absolutely. That it could be a course that goes from budgeting to where to leave it all, or where or how to leave it all. Yeah, okay. So that would be the A through Z. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Y'all just turned this into an informational thing, which is good.
I need to be educated, honey. I'm looking. 'Cause I have children and grandchildren, and y'all like to add on, so I need to get myself right so I can make sure my family is taken care of when I leave this place.
You ain't getting no more from me.
I'm one of your children, right? I'm one of your children, right?
I'm like,
fun too.
She is funny.
Yeah,
look,
well,
am I
we talking about?
You got quiet.
No, everybody got quiet. I was gonna ask. I was gonna go back to the sibling relationships that we were talking about earlier. You know, like I admit it. You know, I have a lot of siblings. You know, compared to a lot of people that I grew up with, and everybody that I grew up with had smaller families, and my family was always looked at as that big family up the street. You know, but as I got older, I meet a lot of people that have, 8, 9 kids, and so it's more, to me, now my world is more of a norm. But there's one sibling that, and I'm the one that's always bringing people together, but I have one sibling that I haven't spoken to it had to been about 8 years now. And it got to the point that, and this is only emotions, because my feelings were so hurt that I'm like, I'm okay if I never see her again. I don't not love her, and I told her that because I wrote her a letter telling her I choose not to have anything else to do with her. I said, but God forbid if something happens, I do what I can to help in the situation. I said, that don't mean you can call and ask me for money anytime you want it. I said, I'm just saying I don't have any hate for you. I just realized that interacting with you is never a positive interaction, And the last time I saw her, I went out my way. I was hosting a family reunion, and we usually have big family reunions. We got a big family. And I convinced her to come. And I said, you're not speaking to none of my siblings are speaking to her. I said, but we have cousins and other people that would like to see you and your son. So, I invited her to come down. I was living in Florida. I had a reunion in Florida. Guess where she made plans to stay while she was at the family reunion?
At your house.
You're laughing, but that's exactly what happened.
I know she did.
She showed up at my door. Yeah, and I was like, you can't stay here. You know.
Oh my God.
But and she said, well, why? I said, because I'm not staying here. I got a room at the hotel for the weekend. She said, well, that's okay. I'll stay there. You drove here from North Carolina to Florida. I'm saying here, but I'm not there now. And had no place to stay. You know, and so where did she stay? In my room, in my hotel.
Mm-hmm. She figured you invited her, so you had a place for her to stay.
Well, that didn't turn out well because, you know, while my sister it was me and my older sister, and her. So and it was 2 beds and a pull-out couch. So she slept on the pull-out couch. But she stole. She stole from me. She stole from my other sister. She stole from the family reunion. I had made scrolls with the family tree on it. You know, I paid my niece is an artist, to put it together. Made a family tree with everybody's name on it and, you know, where everybody is on the tree. And I made it for the family reunion. I was going to give everybody, starting with the adults, all the adults, and then the young adults wanted some if I had some left because I made 50 of them. So she was in my room, and my sister was awake, but she didn't know my sister was awake. She got up early in the middle of the night, like 2 o'clock in the morning, and took all the scrolls that I made and put it in her suitcase. Now, my question is this. What you going to do with that?
What you going to do with 50 scrolls?
You know, we don't have a whole lot of family in North Carolina where she lives. Who would you give those scrolls to? Uh-huh.
Adrienne, my question is, why did you let her stay in your room?
Because that's how I am.
Okay,
there
we go.
I don't let my anger let me make decisions. And so, and like usual, it don't turn out well. So I don't do that as much now, especially since I lost my sight, because I can't see what people are doing. But I thank God that my sister saw what she did. And so she was in the shower, and she woke up. Adrienne, she took all those scrolls and put it in her bag. I said, and she had one of those rolling suitcases. And so then she got up out of bed and went and unzipped her bag and found out she had not only that, but I had bought some mugs, and she had extra mugs and all that. I said, take it all out. Just take it all out while she was in the shower. And we took it all out, and she took it all out and put it under her blanket. So we heard her coming out the bathroom. She came out the bathroom, and then we had zipped up the suitcase, and she took her suitcase and left. And Gina said, when she get home, she's going to be pissed off. I said, why? Pissed off because the stuff she stole was stolen from her? She'll get over it.
She was making sure that she couldn't come nowhere else.
Oh, no, she wasn't. That's when I wrote the letter to her. You know, I opened up my home and to you and invited you out here, and you stole from me. I don't know what else she did that she shouldn't have done, but I know she stole from me. And I told her, you know, I love you. If you're in dire need and somebody called me and said, and I can help, you know, I'll be there for you, but we have no relationship anymore. And that was the letter. And I haven't heard from her since then. And that was about 11 years ago. Yeah, that's when I did the family reunion. You know, my oldest sister called me and said, what did you do to Linda? I said, what do you mean what I did to Linda? She said, she called me crying, talking about how mean you were to her, and you wrote her a letter. I said, I did write her a letter. I said, you were there. You saw what she did. You know, I'm newly blind. I had been blind maybe about 3 months when I started the family reunion, planning it prior to me losing my sight. But when I lost my sight, I figured, okay, I'm going to continue it. And you're going to call my older sister crying, talking about Adrienne being mean? I'm not being mean. I'm being real. She stole from me. I said, you were there. And she said, yeah, you're right. I don't hate her, and I don't. I wouldn't give nobody that kind of power over me. I learned that young. When you hate somebody, that takes power from you. It takes your energy. I don't let anybody take my energy like that. So I have no pity for her. I still got love for you. You're my sister. God gave you to me. It's not my place to throw you away, but I have to do this. The fact that you would come into my space, a newly blind person, and steal from them like that, I can't have you around me.
Right.
So.
That's sad.
But that's the only sibling out of the 8 of us that I have that kind of relationship with. And I still call it a relationship because I still pray for her and I still worry about her. I still wonder how she's doing sometimes, And I do talk to my nephew, her son, every once in a while. So there's still a connection, but I just can't.
Well, thank God you were able to talk to her son and make sure she's okay and he's all right.
Well, I leave that open.
I'm sorry you went through that, and I'm glad you shared that because it really goes along with my topic. It was basically asking the question of like, we all have siblings, all our siblings. We have problems with our siblings and everything. But like, when is we just say we all family. So if you forgive them and you move on and all that.
Right.
But when do you stop that? How bad do it have to be for you to what?
Well, me and my sister just used to argue about everything. Oh my God. When we was little, we fought every day. It wasn't a day that went by that we didn't fight. Got grown, we argued all the time. So it just seemed like it was always something going on between the two of us. And for me, I just prayed because I love my sister. So for me not to be I don't like not to be able to check on her, make sure she's okay. Because to me, I don't care if we fought every day, if we argued every day. I didn't care. That's my sister. I want to know she's good. And if something happened to her, I don't want to be that one at the funeral crying and talking about, I should have called you. No. So I'm like, I feel like I'm big enough to, just because we not all up in each other's face all the time, going everywhere and doing everything together, I could call and check on my sister. I could pray for my sister. If I can help her, I will help her. You know what I mean? I know that we can't be up under each other all the time. That's okay.
Right. In some relationships, I like that.
She's okay.
Right.
I know she's okay. I know I can pick up the phone and call and make sure she's all right. I can pray for her, let her know that I love her. And I never give up on my sister. I'm like, that's my sister. I love my sister. I'm sorry. We done been through a lot, and I don't even care. That's still my sister. I still love her, and that's just the way it is. My mother taught me that. That's how my mother raised me. So
this is what I'll say. I'm one of 8 as well, Adrian, you know.
I know you're a copycat.
Well.
I know, everything. And I'm actually the middle child, and I would say, one of my sisters told me the other day, she said, you are the voice of reason, because
that's the middle child.
I level it all off. But my oldest sister had not spoken to me directly in about 4 years now, 5 years. And it's okay with over 1,000 numbers in my phone. I keep pretty busy. But there was 1 2-week period where I was wondering, her life? Like, what does she do day to day? She is an evil spirit. She was born with a veil, and she's two things. She's chosen to use it in a dark way, but her circumstances may have led her to choose to use it in a dark way. So I'm at peace with, not being overly in front of you and you not speaking to me, and it gives me a break from listening to you male bashing. That's her priority, to male bash, and my priority, being the voice of reason, is to say, well, what could have happened? Here I go, right? What could have happened to cause that? So, but this 1-2 week period, not too long ago, in March, I was just thinking about her hard. What is her life like? And hoping the best, because as a sibling, and I'm just as a human, really, you really want people to be at their best. I'll say this to the sibling relationship. To me, it's like the solar system. Accordingly, I haven't been up there, but according to the diagram we've been shown, it's an axis, and all the planets have their purpose, serve their purpose, but they're all part of that solar system. They're all part of that universe.
Right.
That's how I compare family. We don't choose them. We don't even choose our parents. We don't choose any of our family that are siblings. There are some siblings who you would be friends with. If you weren't siblings, you could see yourself, being friends. And there are some you're like, oh, my gosh, I don't see how anybody could deal with you, even your spouse and stuff like that. And it's all about personality. Because even if you give birth to the child, that child is a product of you and that mate. You may not like them too much either, but you love them unconditionally. But when it comes to siblings, that's my story. My story is you're like the solar system, your planets, you all have your purpose and the beautiful colors and all of that, but it doesn't mean that you're going to blend. But as my father was an electronic genius, I tell them sometimes I think we all have too much energy. And when you put two live wires together, you're going to get a spark. And that's how I describe some of the relationship involvements. We're very intelligent, we're very creative, pretty self-sufficient, and my parents were just on both spectrums. Very spiritual, very intelligent, very insightful. But we had a family dynamic of the 70s, and that family dynamic of the 70s was, I'm going to say from the 60s to the 70s, was very interesting, as we've come to learn. But siblings will have rivalry because the same way you might have with someone in class. You just don't get along, and somehow you're forced to get along. Instead of being forced or taught to respect, we're sometimes forced to get along, forced to share the same bed, forced to take. I'm really opposed to parents giving the responsibility of children to take care of children, because in the end, some of those children are resentful. I believe there's an older child syndrome and an only child syndrome.
There's a middle child syndrome also.
Well, I like to hear about that, but I heard it was a good thing. I heard the middle child was really a good place to be. But with the older child, to me, the syndrome is that you've been the older child, the only child,
like
for
mama,
a period of time where you did not have to share.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that, the family dynamic. And we in our family fit in it, because my sister, the oldest one, was 7 years old before the next one was born. And the rest of us are pretty much stair steps. We're a year apart. The two under the oldest one are exactly 9 months apart. My mother break.
Adrienne, I'm getting old. Let me continue my thought, please. So the oldest syndrome is that you've been the only child. You didn't have to share your parents. You didn't have to share your toys. And even especially with a single parent, when it's a single parent and you're the only child, And anybody comes into that other parent's life, like if they get a mate or if they get a new baby, hopefully with a mate as well, there's like, okay, a disconnect from your norm as the older or only child. And so you feel resentful. You feel resentful, and then as the older children are then given responsibility to take care of the younger children, are resentful again. And some people say, well, it's the thing to do. The parents have to work, and everybody have to share. Everybody stop. In my opinion, I have a weird opinion. I did not give birth to these children. In retrospect, we respect that the parents have to work and they have to do X, Y, Z, D, E, F, G, and coming together and working as a team. Yeah, all right, yeah. Different dynamic. You need a babysitter. You need a babysitter. Because when you're putting that responsibility on, whether it's the older child or any of the children, to take care of their siblings, you could really be causing rift. Whether it's expressed or not, you could be causing rift. And that's not good. Sometimes the dynamics between siblings, when it's beautiful, we'll attribute that to parenting, good parenting. But when it's not so beautiful, we have to look at the parenting as well. We have to look at the cause of the disconnect of a unified sibling relationship. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Aaron was talking earlier. He was talking about the family. We had to come to a point where we said we agreed to disagree.
Right. And that's what any kind of.
My mother had 8 kids too, so we had to, as adults, we had to come to the point where we agreed to disagree so we can get along with each other. And that forgiveness is a big part of everything, because we can do some things to each other, being siblings. It's a shame, but and then we also, when Ariel was talking about life is too short. It is. Life is too short. Mm-hmm. You don't know when you're going to lose your sibling, so you don't want your last thing you said to your sibling to be an argument or something ugly, or unforgiveness. I would rather agree to disagree and love you in spite of you. Because when you do leave here, I want to have a good conscience and know that I did all that I could, to be a part of your life if that's what we wanted to do, or, but we talked to each other. We checked on each other. We let each other know we love each other, Even if we can't see each other every day, spend time with each other every day. I love you. I checked on you. I'm praying for you. I'm here, So I think it's important that we don't take those things for granted, because we never know when time is up. And you will look at your sister, your brother, and think y'all got forever, or you still going to be here tomorrow, and come to find out they're not here tomorrow, So you just got to stop taking life for granted like we promised it.
Yeah, that makes sense, but I'm still not going to let my sister invite her to my home.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not telling you to do that. That would be just stupid for me to tell you that. But I'm saying you could call and check on her, make sure she's all right. Let her know.
No, but I told you I check on her through my nephew. Pray for her. Do what you can.
You got to pray for her. Because you don't want her to die or anything. You like, I should at least call and check on her to make sure she was all right. And you could have did something, It don't have to be you calling her over, because you know what she's doing right now. So we all have to use wisdom in what we're doing, but at the same time, you have to show love. That's all I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying. Not taking it in totally, but I hear what you're saying.
God, please help her take it in.
No, because like I said, I check on her through her son, my nephew. Mm-hmm. I call my nephew every once in a while, and I'll ask, how's your mother doing? I'll even ask, how's your father doing? I haven't spoken to him in years. They're separated. But it's just, me letting him know, I don't get along with your mom, because he always asks, what happened between you and mom? And I said, and I don't discuss it with him, And he said, why is all the family mad at her? I said, well, you have to talk to the family members. Everybody have their own reasons. But, I don't wish anything bad on her. That's why I always ask you how she's doing, But, and I always pray for my family, whether I'm in touch with them or not,
Right.
Yeah, I pray for everybody, not just my family.
What if you took the time?
My thing is, I don't want to have any ill feelings, because, like I said, that don't affect her. That affects me.
Mm-hmm.
How some people, oh, you mentioned, I have another sibling, my younger sister. If you mention that same sibling that I'm not speaking to, if you mention that name to her, oh, God, oh, I can't stand it. I said, see, why do you get so emotional? She's in control of your emotions, not you right now. You got to let it go. Do what you got to do to let it go. If you get so emotional like that just by the sound of her name, it's not good. She's the one in control of you.
So, Adrian, how long has it been since that happened between you and her?
I've been here, it'll be 10 years November. And I did the reunion the year before I moved here. So that means it'll be 11 years.
So, you don't think she grew up since then? You think she's still in that same order?
I don't think she's changed, no. As a matter of fact, if I talk to some cousins down south, they'll confirm that for me. No, I had to leave your sister alone. I said, oh, okay. I just don't go any further with the conversation. I don't want to know what happened.
My Lord. You don't think she acting out because all her family is separated from her?
No, she separated herself from the family. We're all up here. She moved in North Carolina. Where our oldest set is. We have family down there, but it's the older set. And my brother is down there. He's not speaking to her now either. Linda can't come to my house no more, and I don't even want to hear the rest. I said, oh, okay. I got to go now. Bye. I don't want to hear it. Don't put that in my spirit.
Okay.
But sibling, yeah, that's the most, I was taught that's the most you can do for a person is pray for them. But sibling relationships are different. Something that Bodney says, right, when you have a family that large, there's going to be some that you tolerate, there's some that you're close to, there's some that you get along with, there's some that you may not get along with, and there's some that there might be one or two that if they don't call me in the next 10 years, I'll be all right. That's just, I know another family that's very large family, and one of the members of the family is like my age, so we talk every once in a while, and she has 11 siblings. There's 12 of them, and there's always one or two that she's not speaking to at a given time. Growing up when we were little, it was fun. We can all go to the park and play basketball and play jump rope. We always had enough people to play. We can go to a park that has no kids in it, and between our two families, we can play for hours. But we're not kids anymore. We got different mindsets, different attitudes, different tolerance levels. Yeah.
So, Aaron, how about you and your siblings?
He said he's not in touch with them. Aaron, you still there?
Oh, I was talking this whole time and I was muted, and I didn't even know.
It's like I know he ain't hang up on us. Okay.
Did you hear the question?
Yeah, I did. I don't know. I guess I was blessed. My mom only had 4 kids.
You can still have sibling problems with 4 kids.
Like, we are tight. We love to be around each other. We love each other. We just that's my brothers, my sisters. We just
okay. So I'm gonna go back to something that you said earlier. When was the last time you spoke to James?
Oh yeah, you're right about that. It's been a while. But like I'm saying, like when we do get together, we just it's nothing but love.
Yeah, that's good. And where are your other siblings?
So you haven't spoken to him, but it's not that you're feuding. You just haven't spoken, and everything.
Yeah,
okay.
we are all we understand each other. We're to ourselves people. We don't really call people call us and say you don't never. My mom always called me and say you don't never call me, and I say I don't call nobody, and she say I ain't nobody. I'm your mother.
I'm somebody. I'm your mother. That's right.
Hey, Bodney, I don't know if you knew that, but that's he's Ernestine's son. Yeah.
So like we all that's how we all are. We don't call people, so we don't take it some type of way when our brother or sister don't call us because it's just who we are. But we all know that we love each other, and if we ever need each other, we'll be there for each other. And when we get together, it's nothing but love between us.
That is true. Now, when they was younger, they did crazy things to each other. Yes, especially to Aaron, because Aaron was the worst.
I was the youngest. I was tortured.
Yes, he was spoiled.
Is she laughing while she's saying the child was tortured?
Yeah.
Yes, he was spoiled, and Aaron used to hurt folks' nerves.
I still do.
On purpose.
Still do.
Yes. And he's telling you the truth. But now they can deal with him better. Before they was younger and they was aggravated and they used to torture him. Yes. But he brought it by himself.
I mean, we tortured each other though, cause we fought. I broke my brother's tooth and got a whooping on my birthday. We fought a lot, but like at the end of the day we still loved each other. It didn't matter. At the end of the day, we fought, but everybody knew don't touch my brother, cause you're gonna have to fight us all type thing. So,
yeah, that's how my family was. My mother's rule was one of you get into a fight, everybody get in a fight.
I could talk about my brother. I could beat him up, but you can't. That's just always.
That's how it was in my family too. We weren't a fighting family, but if one person got into a fight, like my mother used to say, if one of y'all get into a fight, y'all all in a fight. So we went all to the same elementary school.
After all the torture that they did to Aaron, God forbid anybody put a finger on Aaron. You want to see somebody get ugly? Lord have mercy.
My brothers don't even talk to me wrong.
Aaron.
I'm
here, man.
Hold on. Somebody's trying to speak.
No, I was just letting Aaron know that I was here. I got to put my phone on mute, though, because I'm about to go out.
Who's that, Mr. Williams?
Nah, that's Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus.
Oh, hi, Marcus.
I remember his name. I watched that movie, and she kept saying, Marcus!
Yeah, I had one of them one time. I had one of them one time.
So,
But I gotta mute my phone because I'm about to leave. I gotta go out the door. It's gonna be a lot of noise. I'm gonna mute my phone. But I'm just letting you know I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about Marcus. No, I'm joking.
when you tell that Aaron tell about Aaron, Lord have mercy. Oh. Aaron was a trip. I love Aaron, though. My God. Whew. It paid off. All the things I've been through. He's growing up to be a great man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You have at least two great children. I'd love to meet your others.
You're going to love them.
Nigeria and
The
Ronald.
Lord is to love them.
Now, Ernestine, where are your other two children?
Ronald lives with me. He's actually upstairs right now.
Okay, that's your older brother?
Yes.
One of them. James is the oldest.
Yeah,
I know James. That's my buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have all boys?
You got 3 boys and 1 girl.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you got a daughter. She's in Georgia, right?
Yes, the Queen Junior is in Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Call her Queen Junior. I'm gonna tell her you said that. Queen.
Of course, I'm Queen. She's Queen Junior. That's my baby. She is. I don't even know how I did that. I have 4 children, and all of them are spoiled.
I've never seen a girl junior.
Oh, I've seen it. That started about that I've heard about 10 years ago, where women are naming their children after them, calling them junior.
Mm-hmm. My goodness, but all of my children, everybody try to take them to Adrian.
Sometimes that's not a good thing.
I guess that makes them to start doing that now because women are marrying women now. So
no, that wasn't the reason that came up. Thank God. We just say most of the time our daughters act like us, so we call them juniors. None of that craziness.
no, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Nigeria is not literally named after you. Your name is not literally Queen.
No, Nigeria is not named after you.
If you named Nigeria Ernestine Williams Jr.
Right. That's what ladies are doing now. Yeah. And they don't have to be in a gay relationship. They just do it because they're like, okay, why should I name my boys after their dad and I don't have any girls named after me? But again, when they do name girls after their mothers, they don't usually call them junior. They just put little in front of him, little Ernestine, little Adrian. And that works until the person gets about 25 years old. You still gonna be calling your child little this? A point in fact, I had a girl in the neighborhood where I live. Matter of fact, my sister married into that family, and the oldest girl name was Baby Doll. At her funeral 2 years ago, my sister, she moved to Rochester where my sister lives, and so she said, Baby Doll's funeral, I got an invitation to her funeral. I said, the woman is over 50. Call her by her real name, and y'all still calling her Baby Doll. She said, that's all I know her as. I said, she said it was on the obituary in the newspaper. It had Christine Baby Doll Bowers, And they had to put it like that because most people don't know her real name. So they would have saw that name in a paper, you know how they put the obituary, and not know who it was. Oh. Excuse me. How long is your podcast to 3:30?
No, it's 1 hour, so it's supposed to be over at 4. But like usually we just keep talking until we feel like stopping.
It's 4:11.
Well, I feel like eating right now.
Yeah, I agree with that one. We can end it so I could go eat.
I ate
I
already.
said I feel like eating. I didn't say you.
But I thank God for the topic anyway. I pray that everybody on this line, I pray everybody that's on the line really like think about your siblings and just making sure you checking in, that you loving on them, because like I said, we all. I'm the youngest one on this line in adults. Older adults. Aaron is the baby, but I mean me. I'm 50. All the rest of the people on the line is high. Aaron is older.
Wow. Yeah. You old.
Yeah, you older than me. You real old.
Everybody older than you. Everybody older than you except Aaron.
That's what I just said. So I'm saying, like, I hope you think about that you don't know where your siblings live. Give them a call. Let them know you love them. You thinking about them. Make sure they good.
No.
Yeah.
She says no. I'm not doing it.
Oh, Adrian.
I still got, like I said several times, I still got love for my sister, but there's some people you just can't have around you.
I ain't say have her around you. A phone call and having somebody around you is a whole different thing.
Right, but if you call her, then she get the idea that you want to see her.
No, you can make it clear that I can't have you around. Just need to make sure you're all right. I love you. I'm checking in on you, let you know I love you.
Yeah,
and I'm
she know I
for
check
you.
on her. I'm sure her son tells her that I ask about her.
Okay.
And she only has one son. They ain't got nothing else to talk about.
About it, we love you, darling.
I feel like it's okay for her to have a difference of opinion if she feels though she really don't want to call her sister.
No. And I'm that type of person. I won't do it just because somebody else told me to do it.
That's exactly why I didn't tell you to do it. I said I pray that you do it. That's the big
keep
difference.
praying for me. No, I'm not joking. I'm serious. That's a good thing.
I'm just saying that's exactly why I didn't tell you to do it. I said I'm praying that you will do it eventually before it's too late.
Somebody pray for me. Had me on my mind, on their mind. Took the time to pray for me.
I have to stop the recording now.
Oh, when I start singing, okay.
No, hurry up, Aaron.